Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. So this one is basically, it's going to be a basic topic that's talked about just in faith and stuff, about having faith and just trusting God's course for you. But there's a little bit more to it. So I figured people would need this, especially since we're going for promotions. We're just running after whatever it is that we want in life, especially this month and just next month and everything that's happening. So this one for today, it says, two people want in. Okay, so this one for today says, trust in me forever, for I am the rock eternal. It is easy to trust me for a while, especially when things are going well in your life. But I am calling you to trust me and me at all times, no matter what is happening. I understand what a difficult assignment this is, and I know that you will sometimes fail in this venture. But I continue to love you perfectly even when you don't succeed. Let this assurance of my unfailing love draw you back to trusting me. Though your trust is imperfect and unsteady, I am the rock eternal, absolutely steady and unchanging. You can rely on me. When your walk through this world feels wobbly, remember that I am your rock. I always provide a stable place for you to stand. I can easily bear all your weight, including the weight of your problems. So come to me when you are feeling heavy laden with worries. I invite you to lean on me, trusting me with all your heart and mind. So that one's super huge. So one thing that I want to point out with this one specifically is, obviously us as humans, we're wobbly. We go all over the place. One second we're here with our emotions, the next we're here. We're saying we're going to do something, and then we're over here saying we want to do this. We're all over the place sometimes, and sometimes our faith is really shaky. God is telling you he is literally the same every single day, every single moment of your life. He's very consistent. And so even when you are inconsistent in your life, he is always going to be consistent. So say like you pray to him, you ask him for something, you're never going to be like, God, where are you at? Like, obviously you will sometimes because you feel like you're praying and you're not hearing him, but he's always constantly working in your life. And that's something that personally holds, oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened in there. That's something that really holds deep to my heart, because on the times where I'm feeling so unsteady in my own faith and just own life, I know he's backing me up 100%, and that he's already created me before my life was even created. So he's had this plan laid out for me. So everything works for the good in your life. And that's something that you constantly have to remind yourself. So keep that in mind. And then this one's from my prayer journal. And this one says adversity and trials. And it says, just like the story of Joseph and the trials he went through that ultimately led to him saving his own people in Egypt, God can also use the trials and circumstances in your life for good. There is nothing you will endure that hasn't first gone through God and his authority. Recall that in the midst of his suffering, Joseph had no idea that God was using these events in his life to orchestrate a plan to save his people through him. Trust that God loves you, that he knows what is best for you, and that he has a plan for your future. He is working the events of your life out for your good, even when you can't see his work in the midst of it. Keep the faith. Then it just says, like, if you want to journal out stuff like this, you totally can. I personally did. And it says, reflect on a trial or challenge you have experienced in your life that ultimately resulted in something positive. Did you trust God during that time? Was your faith ultimately strengthened as a result of walking with God through this challenge? Are you in the midst of a trial or suffering right now? If so, consider how God might be trying to work through and with you in the midst of this challenging time. So, and then there's actually a scripture it gives you. It says Romans 8:28, and then it says, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose, which is a very common verse. And so you've probably heard that a million times. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. I know sometimes when I hear something, it doesn't really hit true to the heart until I'm actually going through it. And I'm like, oh, that's what you meant. And so I know, for instance, like there are sometimes when I go through something, my faith is so weakened during that time that I am panicking the whole time. Then when I get out of it, I see, oh, God was using me for this reason. All the things that I went through my childhood, I now look at it and I'm like, oh, that allows me to connect with others that have went through those same things. So like they can know that they can get through whatever they need. And we talk about it all the time with the things that you go through, maybe not necessarily might be for you. It's for you because God knew that you can handle that. So others, when they're going through it, they don't feel like it's at the end of their life, and they feel like they can trust you because they're like, oh, well, she made it through. She's thriving and surviving or whatever. So that was super huge for me. Then I'm going to turn on things that you can do today in order for you to kind of prepare for the things that you want in your life, and kind of asking and expecting God to bless those things and how to kind of go through that. So this one says start small, and it says, what are you going to be tomorrow? What you are going to be tomorrow, you are becoming today. It is essential to begin developing self-discipline in a small way today in order to be disciplined in a big way tomorrow. So I've told you all about my weight loss journey and just things like that. I've never been consistent in the freaking gym, like never in my entire life. Even when I was in soccer, like it was just never a thing. And so I had to challenge myself because I was tired of looking the way I did. I was tired of feeling the way I did. I challenged myself to 15 minutes a day of just walking. It wasn't even exercise because I knew I would overwhelm myself because I hated exercise. I did that for 30 days straight, told myself that I did it for 15 minutes up to 30. Again, only walking, didn't really exercise. Then I got a gym membership after another 30 days of proving to myself that I could just move for 30 minutes a day. And so this is going to be kind of like that. If you just have to start small somewhere, start tiny. If you have never prayed, start small, 5 minutes a day, 2 minutes a day. I don't freaking care. Just start. So this one says, list 5 areas in your life that lack discipline. So this can kind of go with hand in hand of what God's saying in this scripture is like maybe some areas in your life are really shaky and you don't understand why you're going through it. So list maybe 5 areas in your life that you just don't quite understand or that you feel like you are trying to pray yourself out of. For me, for instance, 5 areas in my life that lack discipline, I would probably say, you know what, I would probably have to think about that because that's kind of on the top of the head because I'm consistent in my work and my business. I would just say probably, I'll just say eating healthy. I'll say eating healthy. Let's just make that simple. And then it says place them in order in your priority for conquering them. And it says take them on one at a time. Then it says secure resources such as books, tapes that will give you instruction and motivation to conquer each area. So obviously, like the Bible devotional, these little things that I told y'all about, I just started reading these with my faith. The Jesus Today, I just started reading these. It wasn't something that would overwhelm me. I didn't start reading the Bible because that overwhelmed me. So I got that. And then it says, ask a person who models the trait you want to possess to hold you accountable for it. So not necessarily, if you don't want someone to hold you accountable, because sometimes accountability for me personally, I don't want to act as someone to be my accountability partner because it always falls through because they're busy doing something. And I personally am like a super yellow personality. So I feel like I'm a burden if I'm like, hey, will you be my accountability partner type of thing? So I don't necessarily say it like that. But like for instance, I'll kind of use it because Morgan's on here, but Morgan's someone that I look up to as far as like her faith. Like she's someone that kind of introduced me to faith. So of course, if I have any questions, I'm going to go to her. She knows a lot more, I feel like, in that area. So I've learned a lot from her. So I'm going to go to her. So go to someone that models that. If you feel like I know a lot more than you do, which I've told y'all my journey of faith, like that's why I started these prayer Zooms. If you have questions, feel free to ask me. So that's another step. And then it says step number 6, spend 15 minutes each morning getting focused in order to get control of that weak area in your life. Like I said, didn't even read this when I first started doing the 15 minutes, but the fact that it says 15 minutes and I just said that I started with 15 minutes shows you that it's possible because now I'll work out every single day, at least 45 minutes a day. And I love it. Like I absolutely love it. I love doing my devotionals every single day. I feel like super disgusting without doing my devotional every morning. I'm not even kidding. I'm like in a weird mood if I don't do it. And then it says do a 5-minute checkup on yourself at midday. So maybe during the day, maybe at lunch, and just say, have I done this today? Or how am I feeling today? That's how I do it. Because if I'm feeling weird, guess what the first thing that I'm going to do? I'm going to pick up a devotional, or I'm going to pick up a Bible, or I'm going to pick up my journal, or I'm just going to pray. Either one of those things really fill my cup up. So make sure to do that. And then it says, take 5 minutes in the evening to evaluate your progress. Every single day, if you do that stuff consistently every single day, it's just like doing your 6 lists in this business. If you do those things every single day, you're going to feel better about yourself. You know how many people I talk to in this business, they're like, I feel stuck. I feel, I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good about this. I'm like, okay, so when's the last time you were consistent for at least 6 days with your 6 list? Never. Okay, start there. Do you not think that action always comes first? Then it's the passion. And they tell you that in books. They tell you that in leadership books. They tell you that in consistency books. And they tell you that basically in everything. You're not going to come with the feeling of enthusiasm. More than likely, action's going to have to go first. So do that. And then it says allow 60 days to work on the area before you go to the next. So I just told y'all again, I'm not even kidding. And I did not read this before. I just kind of looked at it where it said start small and I was like, okay, I'll read this today. Didn't even know what it was about. And I told y'all it took me a full 30 days to do the 15 minutes, a full 30 days to do the 30 minutes. Then I moved to the gym. So guess what? That is like clear notion telling you to freaking do that. So it says allow 60 days to work on one area before you move to the next. And then it says celebrate with the one who holds you accountable to show you, as you show continued success. Well, I feel like Morgan's my cheerleader. Like when she feels like I'm uplifting in like my leadership, she always is like, you're growing. I see it. Like, that's amazing. So proud of you. So have someone that you know that's going to sit here and uplift you anytime you do a success or have success happen in your life, whether it's small, big, whatever it is. We like seeing people thrive. So don't feel like you're a burden. If you completed your 6 list 6 days in a row, and this is the first time you've ever done it, text your enroller. Text your person that's holding you accountable and be like, I did this. And guess what? They're going to be like, I'm so freaking proud of you. Even though if you're a leader and you're expected to do that, we're still going to be like, you freaking go, girl. You tell me that you worked out for 30 days straight and you've never done that in your life. I'm going to cheer you on because that was me. So yeah, Amber said I always text Morgan. I literally blow Morgan's phone up all the time. Love you, Morgan. That's just what you're there for. And then it says, remember, having it all doesn't mean having it all at once. It takes time. Start small and concentrate on today. The slow accumulation of disciplines will make a huge difference in your life. And then it says, choose one area from your list and take a step of discipline for it today. So I want to challenge you. If there's an area in your life that you are struggling with, and that could be your relationship with God. That could be your actual relationship with your spouse. That could be your business and being consistent in it. That could be personal development. That could be praying every single day. There could be probably so many things in your life that you're unhappy with. And I'm not like casting that over yourself, but that was me at one point because exercise, diet, consistency, enrollments of the business, like where I was at in the business, where I was at in my family life, like my relationship with Dallas, things like that. Like those were a lot of pillars I was unhappy with. I worked on those one-on-one. And now that I'm at where I've been consistent with my business for a full year, and it was the best year I've ever had in my entire business, in my entire life. And then I was consistent in the gym. I feel like I look very good. I'm not saying that to sound cocky at all. I look the best I've ever been. And I've measured myself. I've seen results. I've seen progress. I took before and after pictures and I was like, this feels good. I'm consistent every single day with these prayer Zooms. Almost had my rain yesterday. I apologize about that. But I'm consistent with that. And so once you start chipping away at those pillars, I promise you guys, not only your mental health is going to be so good, but your spiritual health, your physical health, all of these things combined, there are all these different pillars that are going to go into your life hand in hand, and they're going to make you a better human. And so we talk about it, and I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but if you feel so terrible in your health, and you feel like you're not thriving in your business, do you think maybe those go hand in hand? If you don't feel good on the outside, how are you going to feel good on the inside? And so kind of go hand in hand with those. And with this one, he says, through your trust is imperfect and unsteady, but I am an eternal rock, absolutely steady and unchanging. You can rely on me when your walk through this world feels wobbly. Remember that I am your rock. I always provide a stable place for you to stand. I can easily bear all your weight, including the weight of your problems. So come to me when you are feeling heavy laden with worries. I invite you to lean on me, trusting me with all your heart and mind. That can go with a lot of things in life, but he tells you constantly, like, lean on him because he is not wobbly. You are wobbly. Us as humans, we're wobbly, we're simple, we're all these things. And so when you feel like you can't trust yourself to do one of those tasks, that's why I read that. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to do all these things at once. I had to leave. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. I had a lot of caffeine before this and now I'm just like twitching. But I had a leader message me and she was like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And she's never been a consistent day in her life in her business. So I said, okay, chill out, Sally. Let's do this first. You prove to me in 6 days that you can do your 6 lists every single day, then let's talk. She said, dang, you're right. You know, like that's actually true. That's something that's not really going to overwhelm me. I said, do that before you start talking about how you want to build a house for $1 million and do all these other things. I love dreaming big. I do love dreaming big, but you have to prove to yourself that you can be consistent in all these different areas. And if you start with all these other things, if you're like me, you'll shut down and you'll be like, oh, this sucks. I hate this. And that's how I was. That's how I am at everything. If you tell me to do a big task, I'm going to start with the small steps first. So like presidential. We're trying to go presidential. Do you think I'm looking at the whole presidential chart? Absolutely not. I'm looking at all the rubies that I can build. I'm looking at the diamonds that I can build, not the triple over here, the double over here, the double over here, the diamond over here. I can't look at that because it overwhelms me and it shuts me down. So guess what? I'm looking at all the rubies I can help. That's where I'm starting. And so you need to have a game plan today of what you're going to do in your life to make those things better. If you are complaining about your business not working for you, or if you're complaining about something in your life not working for you, your anxiety crippling you every single day, what are the steps that you're doing to take it forward? Have you already accepted that defeat? Or have you trusted God and said, God, we're going to make it through this together. I know I can lean on you because you're never unsteady. You are always, always steady in the race. I've been the one that's always quit on myself. It's like a marathon and he's at the end of the finish line saying, hey, I made it. Like I've been here. I made it through and through time and time again. And then you're just kind of sprinting, you're walking, you stop, you take a break, then you keep going again, you take a break again. And then God's like, sis, if you just run a steady pace, I got you. I'm at the end right here. You can make it. And so kind of envision that in your mind. And it tells you, and if you want to do that journal, I can send these in the chat if y'all need these reassurance, like starting small today. I just think a lot of people probably need to start with those things because that can lead a lot into your life. Like you look at Morgan, she does have her health together. She goes to the gym. She likes to eat healthy. I mean, I know that we like to eat unhealthy too. It's fine. But like all those different things in her life, her business, she's been consistent for the past 17 years of her life and everything. And so that's why she's thriving. And so like you can look to her as an example. You can look up to me an example in some ways. I'm still working on a lot of things, but just look at those people who are successful in their life and have all those pillars together. Like for me, I look at Claire Flores. I freaking love her. Like she just like spits out grace when she talks, and you can tell she has all those other pillars in her life together. Her faith, number one thing. Her marriage, number one thing. You know, in her health, she's very fit. She's into health, all those different things, and her business thrives, you know? And so I'm going to stop talking because I will go on a rant, but I just thought that that was really helpful because I know a lot of people need to start somewhere that you just don't know where to start. And that could be the overwhelming part too. So just make out a list. It can be 5 things. It could be 2 things. It could be 17 things. And start with one of those today. Don't overwhelm yourself and just start with maybe 15 minutes a day. For me, for a devotional, I probably did less than 15 minutes. So don't feel like you have to have a specific time with that. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'm going to read these comments. I'll play some music. Drop your prayer request below. And if you have anybody else to pray over, I always encourage that because we rise by lifting others. I will play some music while you're dropping those below. I just saw your message, Morgan, trying to make it to Chick-fil-A breakfast. Bruh, Chick-fil-A breakfast is magic. Oh, I need to stop